So I enjoy. Okay, hold on. If I can get this fucking camera. Oh my god. There. So I enjoy danmei novels a lot. I mean, my favorite author is mdzs. It's very basic, but yes, those are what I like. And the first danmei novel that I knew was mdzs because okay, so this is a fun story time. This was peak 2020. I'm talking peak 2020. I was in sixth grade at that time. Yes, I was in sixth grade, and I was, I've always seen a lot of BL, and around this time, I was really into Thai BL, so Torn Type, and yeah, like the classics. I should rewatch some of them actually. And I was like, okay, I'm going to watch some yaoi. I watched, Daichi and Tyrant Falls in Love, classics again. And I remember I just finished watching Daichi, and the recs that the illegal page that I was watching the anime in recommended me Modao Sushi, and I was like, alright, this looks good. And I didn't understand the concept. Like up until that point, I thought all anime came from Japan. So I was like, okay, weird, like, because the language, like, I was like, okay, this doesn't sound like Japanese, but this is definitely Asian. Oh, right, Chinese. And like the concept, I didn't get the whole of it immediately. Like the first time I watched the show, I didn't get it. Like I didn't appreciate it enough. And I remember that I was so amazed because it had substance. That's something a lot of danmei novels have that yaoi and manhwas sometimes lacked. It's that they have substance. Most BL is pretty basic romance, but danmei they very usually they use like a lot of politics, and there's a lot of mystery, a lot of for example, Modao Sushi is a fucking cop, like that's a cop movie. That like imagine the plot, but plaster it a like a cop show. It would work more or less the same, because okay, for you to understand. Wait, where do I start? The story is kind of complicated. All right, so first you have to understand this is a cultivation setting. So flying swords and key. Is it key or she? Key. Yes, key. Like this whole spiritual energy, all of that. That's the setting, and we follow the story of a young dude called Wei Wuxian. And Wei Wuxian, he's very talented, and he's the protagonist. So what you have to understand is that this, like, he has one in a lifetime, one in a generation talent. All right, and he stays in a sect called the Young, like the Yumen sect. So he is a bastard, not a bastard. He's an orphan. And he's like adopted by the sect leader of the Youngs. And it's a whole deal. But the main plot is that it's a mystery because we the audience don't know why yet, but it's implied that he was like a war criminal, and he was like really important. I'm talking like he was very important, like almost an historic figure, and he dies. Like that's how the story starts, with his death. And we the audience, we don't know why. Like we don't have context on any of that, and that's very interesting. And so he wakes up, depending on the version you see, is 13 or 16 years. I like the 16 years version most, but it's been a while, so I don't know. So 13 years pass, and he wakes up in a body. Turns out a dude that was like, you know, denied, like very unlucky dude, made like a ritual and brought back Wei Wuxian's soul, and he gave his body to Wei Wuxian. And the ritual was like, okay, you have to do something for the body for you to live, or you will die a very painful death, or something like that. It's been a while. So Wei Wuxian is like, okay, I don't know what I have to do. And it's a whole mystery. And all in all, Modao Sushi is a mystery. Like, it's a detective story. Because if we have to follow the thread of like what happened to Wei Wuxian, how did the war happen, how did the war end, who is this Motion-Yu dude, and why does he like, where did he get the ritual, because it was like a it was like a forbidden ritual, like that wasn't open information. Like, how did this dude get this information? Like, okay, it's a whole lot of things, and we only have Wei Wuxian's point of view, so it's like really like we don't know, because this dude has been dead for like 13 years, so like, and the romance is very well built. Like, the romance is great. And what I like about danmei novels is that the romance and the plot, like, they develop in such a beautiful way. I'm going to put this example, Junjo Romantica. Junjo Romantica is one of my favorite BLs, but it has no plot. When you think about it, the main conflict is resolved in the first chapter. Like, oh, this dude is in love with my brother is going to marry, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to comfort him, boom, we kiss on the first episode. That's it. Like, the main conflict, emotional conflict, is done by the first episode. The rest of it is like, you know, the two main characters falling in love, developing the relationship, but it's kind of like, it's not that interesting. I'm gonna be honest, it's not that interesting. Even like their separate stories, even like with the Seme, it's like his story is not even that interesting. I'm gonna be honest, and I love the anime. I love it, but it's just okay. And his whole focus is like the romance, like blah blah blah. But there's nothing else there, and so it can get pretty boring. And so with danmei, like, you have this very intricate, very satisfying stories. Most of them are revenge stories when you see them. Like, it is so, like, the settings. For example, Scumbag System. Scumbag System is a transmigration novel, and like, spoiler, I mean, if you haven't read the extras, and like, you go in thinking this is a comedy. First of all, this is a comedy, this is lighthearted, and this is a transmigration novel. That's what, like, that's the information you get going into Scumbag Villain. At some point at the end, it's very clear that we cannot trust the narrator, who is Shen Yuan, the protagonist, because what's happening is fucked up. It's really fucked up. Like, there's a whole and it's like a multiverse thing too, because like, it's confirmed that there's multiverses, and that Luo Binghe, like the other character, like the other male lead, he's a romantic lead. Luo Binghe, it's revealed that this version of the story that we're reading is the only version in which Luo Binghe is happy, but like, there's an ancient Luo Binghe that lived thousands of centuries ago and lived like somehow a similar story, and he was so miserable, and he became like this upper being, like almost a god, and he created the system to replicate the story with different like variables and see an outcome where he was happy. Ain't that crazy? Like, what? Like, that's insane. Like, that has substance. The Wife is First. The Wife is First is also one of my favorite novels. It's not mdzs, but it's one of my favorite novels. How many? Okay, 9 minutes, that's not bad. And like, yes, I enjoy the concept of a tyrant who ends up in misfortune, and the only thing that he has left is his male wife. And then when he dies, alongside his male wife, and he wakes up on the day of their wedding, he's like, he was the only one to support me when I was in my worst. I'm going to be the best fucking husband ever because I know he's smart. And the novel is great. I read, oh my god, it was so beauty because it handles, like, it's the emotional whiplash is, and it's so satisfying to the soul because it's like, okay, we have this tragedy, and then we have this comedic moment, and then we have this romance novel. Only thing is like the romance, like I think it's also because of like the censorship that China has. Like they have like these authors have a lot of restrictions, and that's why I think they find like they find other ways to exploit the romance. Like the stories can be solely about romance most of the time. I'm not saying they aren't, they surely are, but I haven't seen, like it's not like my personal, I haven't seen it. But that's why I think that their stories tend to be like so intricate and have so much to them because they have to go out of their ways to showcase the romance in like creative ways. Not saying that other BLs can have that. Like Kill and Stalking is a very disturbing story. It's very, very dark, very like it's a very dark story. But it's like I liked it when I read it, but I read it like almost 8 years ago. So it's been a while. And I think the problem with Kill and Stalking is that people treated it like a traditional BL when it wasn't. Kill and Stalking is BL, but it's also a psychological terror. So it can't be treated the same as, I don't know, Junjo Romantica or Daichi, because Daichi and Junjo Romantica are romantic animes. Like that's their genre. Like they have their BL, their yaoi, but they also have, the other tag. So that's why I think people came to a point where they're like, oh, Kill and Stalking is not yaoi, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it is BL. Not yaoi, but it is BL. It's boys love, but it's also a psychological terror. So like, yeah, no, like, just at home, like I enjoy danmei so much. Even though my heart, like at my core, yaoi will always have a special like place in my heart. That I read Koisuru Bukun. I love Koisuru Bukun. Yes, like the story is at first a little bit questionable because there's a lot of non-con. But I don't know, the characters are just so lovable. Like Seichi is just great. Like he's one of the best ukes of all history. He's like a sassy, like a bratty uke, and I love that. Morinanga is also like I really like Morinanga. People don't like him, but I do. I do. I mean, it's an old BL, like it's an old story, so I understand. Like, non-con was everywhere, and it's very common to see. And I'm not saying it's good, but like, I don't mind it on Koisuru specifically. Like, it's just not something that personally bothers me a lot. But yeah, no, BL really brings me a lot of joy. I'm not too versed into jail, mostly because I don't know. I think like with my own experiences, that's an excuse. Also, it's just that I haven't like I haven't found it. I like a story that really a story that I really want to. I mean, there's a couple of like Chinese jails that I will definitely read because they are very, again, the Chinese really know how to fucking make a compelling plot. Not gonna lie, like they have the best plot. Even like the soap operas. Oh my god, I'm addicted. That's like crack to me. It's like, oh yes, baby, don't tell me you died and you reincarnated on the day, like on the day of your wedding, and then you decided to do everything different because the cunning, like the wicked woman that is also your sister, is planning to get with your abusive husband, who's also like the prince. Like, oh my god, yes, give me that. I love that. I love that. Why do I talk so much shit, bro? I don't know.